Hello and welcome to lesson 3 of week 12. In this lesson, we are going to look at conditional statements in Python. My name is Mildred. Recall that in earlier lessons, we looked at the different operators that we have in Python, and we said we have the logical operators where we use two equal sign to represent or to check if the condition on the left is equal to the condition on the right. We use the exclamation mark equal to say the condition on the left is not equal to the condition on the right. Or we use the less than sign to compare two things, the condition on the left and right. We use greater than sign. Then we use the less than or equal to. And then we use the greater than or equal to. So these are the logical operations. And these logical operations are most commonly used in conditional statements and in loops. And so we're going to be looking at conditional statements, and we're going to use these logical operators to set conditions that we want to check before we execute a particular action. So in Python, for us to have a condition, let's say for instance we have a variable called x, and x is equal to 10. We have another variable called y, and y is equal to 40. And we have another variable called z, and z is equal to 5. Now we have three variables. We want to write a condition that says, let's check if x is equal to 10. So if you want to check if x is equal to 10, you use double equal sign, means check if these are equal, and then you use a colon. In Python, again, recall that when we introduced Python, we said that Python relies heavily on indentation for syntax. And so when you put these statements, everything that comes after the if and your colon will be indented like this. So if x is equal to 10, print x is equal to 10. If we want to have another condition in case this one fails, and that other condition is not the last condition, we want to say again, we use this thing called the else if. So we'll say x is equal to 10 like this, and then we'll say else if, and this is not going to be indented, it's going to start on the same line. Else if x is less than 10, we want to print x is less than 10, and then we want to have a last condition saying if this fails, try this. If this fails, or both are failed, then you want to just have one that catches all, x is greater than 10. So you know that if it's not equal, it's not less, it has to be greater. You can have several else if here, and let's say if you have another condition you want to look at here, let's say it's something that else if x is, let's say, is greater than y. So this condition is not related, but I just want to show you that we can have several else if to catch as many conditions that you want to check for in the event that the one before it fails. If you want to have every condition execute regardless of the failure of the one before it, just keep using if statements. So it checks this one, whether it fails or it passes, it still checks the next one. But once you use else if, it's going to check this one only if this one fails. It's going to check this only if this fails. And so this is how it's going to be arranged in order. We can use the AND or the OR operator for us to check more than one condition. So let's say if x is equal to 10 and x is less than y, we want to print both conditions are true. Now the AND operator will always check this condition, x is equal to 10, yes. Is x less than y? Else, let me delete all of this. Else, print, both conditions are not true. If we have to check if this, we want to print at least one condition is true. If we have an else, we want to print both conditions are true. So for this, I have two sets. The AND is going to print both conditions are true only if both conditions are true. If one of the condition is not true, the AND operator is going to result to a false. For the OR operator, if either one is true, it's going to result to a true. Only when both are false that it results to a false. And in this case, we have y is equal to 40, which is greater than x. And so because both conditions are true, we are going to have both conditions are true printed. And for this one, at least one condition is true. So let's say x is greater than y, which is not true. And when I run this, we're going to see that at least one condition is true for the second one, and we'll have both conditions are true for the first one. If I put this to be greater, we'll have both conditions are not true when we reprint. So when I clear so you can see properly, you'll find that it will change what it has printed out. So this is the whole concept of conditional statements, and as we apply it to software development, you'll begin to see how useful it is. So in the case of software development, you have extracting values from a database. You want to check a condition against the value that you do not know in advance. Sometimes it might be list, and that's when you use if x in. We begin to use those in operators. So operators come in handy, that you will have to remember the operators that we have in Python, so that in conditional statements we can also use all of these different operators to check different conditions. So read more, explore more, and in the next lesson we are going to talk about repeating a particular block of code over and over again until a particular condition is satisfied in a concept called loops.